Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Overflow. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and I am, I swear to God, I don't have the Wu flu.
Hatman, did you get infected by the C virus by Leon Kennedy? Because if
I,
so, I'm going to whoop that blonde boy's ass.
I'm just saying, whoop his ass anyway. Whether I'm infected with it or not, whoop his ass anyway.
Yeah. Well, as we have established, Leon Kennedy's a fucking idiot. Speaking of fucking idiots, though, Trump is acquitted forever.
Trump did get acquitted.
That's, that is indeed a thing. That was one exchange
It's
I
a
had
th-
on Twitter today that was kind of funny. Was they're like, oh, Trump's impeached forever. Don't forget he's impeached forever. Well, yeah, impeachment's the accusation. That's
hmm
the charge. But if you're charged
hmm
with something and you're acquitted, the charge doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, just because you went to trial doesn't mean you were convicted.
Yeah. Oh no. Like
Mhm.
it literally means nothing. So Nancy Pelosi can throw all the tantrums that she wants after the State of the Union is over, but they lost. And it was a
hmm
stupid gamble in the first place. She should not have given in to the pressures of the squad because
No.
and I'm not going to stop ever saying this to people. Pelosi originally did not want impeachment. It was the squad that pushed it. And after a
hmm
meeting with AOC, she decided to do it.
hmm
And more than likely, she has probably made the entire party look like a raving bunch of lunatics, and it's nobody's fault but their own. We'll talk more about it during the politics podcast this weekend. I just want to get that out there because holy shit,
Yeah.
that was some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that, I find myself like watching a plethora of horror movies. Um, I've got a list of them now that I still need to see. That some people say might be right up my alley. Tell me if you've seen any of these real quick before we get started into the topics.
Okay.
Banshee Chapter,
No.
Black Mountain Side,
No.
The Endless,
No.
Absentia,
Say that one more time.
Absentia,
No.
and then Sunshine.
Sunshine, I've seen a bit of, but I have not seen it the whole way through, and I need to sit down and watch it.
How
But
was
I
it from
have it.
what you
I own it.
remember? Because a lot of people are
Um,
telling me it's really good cosmic horror.
it's from what I saw. It's okay. Apparently, like the ending is really hit or miss for people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because yesterday I rewatched 2001: A Space Odyssey for no apparent reason, and I'm like, yeah, this movie's just as weird as I remember.
mhm.
Anyway, Hatman, as always, I let you pick. Where should we start off? Politics or entertainment?
Let's get politics out of the way.
Okay. Well, let's get started with Koopa's Revenge Home. And sorry, guys, I'm going to be eating my dinner while we do this because like, when Hatman messaged me to go ahead and get started, I was literally making hot dogs. So, Koopa's Revenge Home asks, with the EU backing Spain's claim to Gibraltar, why does Germany seem to think they can arbitrarily lay claim to the entire world as if it has no agency? Well, wow, this sounds familiar.
Um, Fourth Reich.
Something like that.
That's about all I got.
I mean, Germany has some of the most ass backwards logic whenever it comes to anything, honestly, when it comes to governance. And they never really seem to realize that it puts them in a loop. Like, they're inevitably going to go back and reenact the authoritarianism of the First World War and of Hitler if they're not careful.
Mhm.
But instead of being this traditionalistic right-wing fascist sort of thing, which I know it's not really right-wing, but bear with me. I'm not using the current line that is basically everything except for modern conservatism is left-wing, but rather basing it on traditionalistic belief systems as opposed to globalistic belief systems. Globalism is left-leaning, traditionalism is right-leaning. Because, and this is one thing that drives me crazy, I'm going to rant for a second, is when people start to say that every single system that is big government is left-leaning, that's not correct. It's not. Because you're ignoring the philosophies that go behind it. Do they come to similar conclusions because authoritarianism ultimately has similarities? Yes, that's why horseshoe theory exists. However, things that are considered traditionalism and things like that, which is a lot of what the right wing focuses on, again, are right wing. You like the Nazis, yes, they were right wing, in the sense that they were traditionalists. They focused a lot on country. They were not globalists, you know. Whereas the communists were the exact opposite. They were globalists. They believed in a global communist world, or just a global communism, you know. But anyway. But anyway, it is that authoritarian streak that in them that definitely makes that a thing, you know. I mean, Angela Merkel even said that to preserve freedom, they have to restrict free speech. I'm like, what?
That's an oxy-fucking-moron.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Excuse me.
Until Germany gives up that authoritarian streak, that sense of entitlement to the world is never going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, they gotta give up the EU first.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason I want the EU to fail. But we'll see what happens.
It will.
Honest Whisperer wants to know if the impeachment of Trump most likely fails. Spoilers. Where do Democrats go from there? What do you think, Hatman? Aside from losing the election.
Back to another impeachment hearing.
You think they'll do second verse same as the first?
They do it for something else. They would do it for something else.
Assuming that they retain control of the House. If they don't retain control...
If they don't retain control, I don't think they're gonna learn from their fuck ups. No, it'd just be more kicking and screaming and gnashing of teeth. Yeah, tearing at their clothes and shit.
My only estimation for the left in the United States is that Antifa might start getting more violent.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think that's been one of the weaknesses of the Trump administration, is the unwillingness to declare them a terrorist outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just did another protest, quote unquote, in New York that saw people get hurt, that saw property get damaged, so on and so forth. Like, shut them down, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's something that I think is inevitably going to happen.
Yeah, there will be talk of armed resistance. That this is, it's tyranny. It's a dictatorship. This demands the government be overthrown and shit like that. When it's bluster. All that shit is just going to be bluster.
Mm-hmm.
But if they actually go that far, then that just shows that they do not respect democracy themselves.
Indeed. Okay. Daniel Garza wants to know. Speaking of, what is the deal with Mike Bloomberg? Maybe it's because I'm a Zoomer, but I've never heard of the guy. I've seen a ton of ads for him. Who is he? Former mayor of New York.
Wow. Yeah, former mayor. Actually, the last mayor of New York before the guy who's there now, whose name escapes me, but fuck him.
Mayor Kami. What's
Bloomberg. Yeah, Bloomberg also founded Bloomberg Media, so Bloomberg News. That, that's his name. That's his company. And yeah, he's a fucking billionaire. He is a big time advocate for gun control, and he pumped a lot of money into Virginia to flip their state legislature, and that's part of the reason why the gun control shit is so bad there. A lot of that came from Bloomberg money.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're already seeing him like pump shit into swing states. Like I've seen Bloomberg commercials and ads and stuff wherever I go. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like he's really trying to hit North Carolina hard. So yeah, he's trying to buy his way into the election, which is not going to work out for him. So I think he's just trying to buy his way onto the platform for the year, which I don't know how well that's going to work out for him. But PAC money is PAC money, and he's got a lot of it. So
yeah, pretty much. I don't think that anything he's going to do is going to be successful in the long run, though. He's not going to be president.
I'm worried. I'm more worried about not the big picture for him, but the smaller one. How he's going after state governments. Because if what happened in Virginia happens anywhere else, the dominoes start fucking falling.
Yeah, he's playing the Soros playbook, but not as well as Soros does.
Yeah, well, he's being more blatant about it.
Yeah,
and people don't really give a fuck, and that's to his advantage. People don't give a shit where the money comes from or that it's coming from Bloomberg. It's just okay, it's money on an issue. Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Soros, for all of his evil, he's a chess guy. He plays chess.
Yeah.
Bloomberg plays chess badly. Bloomberg is the kind of chess player where within the first 3 moves of what he's done on the board, you know everything else he's going to do.
Bloomberg plays Chinese checkers.
Something like that. Either way, he's not as subtle. Yeah. He's not as... You're not going to hear him you're not going to hear much about him, about Soros, unless you start digging and finding out where the money's at. With Bloomberg, he's noisy. So, let's see here. Alpha Incel wanted to know opinion on Michael Moore and Adam Savage's latest conniption fit on politics.
Wholly expected.
Yeah, let them bitch. They only make themselves look like assholes. And more people that are closer to the center see it. More and more people abandon the left when they see it. Let them do it. That's why I always say the sunshine's the best disinfectant. Let people have their tantrums. Let them get it out.
Mm-hmm.
You start wishing death on people. Like I've seen people wishing death on Rush Limbaugh. And then I see people that I know that I'm buddies with who are lefties say, now wait a minute, he's just a radio host. Why are you wishing death on him? You know?
I mean, I just commented on someone's Facebook status for like the first time in years. Talking about Rush Limbaugh, I was like, look, I'm not the biggest Rush fan. Like I listened to him in college and whatnot, and I was only agreeing with him like half the time, so I'm not huge on him. But I wouldn't wish cancer on my worst enemy. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's fucking terrible.
Yep.
And literally, like the next response from some rando was like, "Oh, I would gladly," and I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Then
just
you a
the
bitch.
the hatred that people have. I don't have the time or the energy to be that constantly pissed off. I don't. I've got better things to do. So I don't fucking understand. If people want to waste their time and fucking raise their blood pressure to unhealthy levels, getting mad about shit, all right, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be over here trying to get better and keep drinking my fucking tea.
Hate is baggage. Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. It's not worth
Ah,
it.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite quotes.
There's that, and there's another really good line. Um,
Has
from his teacher,
anything you've done
made
made
your
your
life
life
better.
better? Mm-hmm. That is such. American History X is the movie. If you guys don't recognize the quotes, that is probably my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, it's
It
amazing.
is it's wonderful. Go out and watch it. It's about a neo-Nazi who reforms himself while in prison.
Yeah, and it's a bit it's got some great casting in it. There's some actors
Mm-hmm.
in there you would be surprised. Like I can never remember the name, but Derek Vineyard, who's the lead character, is of course played by Edward Norton. Edward
Mm-hmm.
Furlong plays his little brother, and then the Benjamin Sisko basically plays his teacher in
Yeah.
probably his best role ever outside of Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderfully done.
Yeah. Um, if you come near Danny again, I will fucking feed you your heart, Cameron. That is one of the best threats
Oh yeah.
that
Ethan Suplee
Ethan Suplee's
also
in
in
that
that
too.
movie. Yeah.
When he was super fat.
That
That
was when
was
he was
that was
huge.
when he was at his heaviest, according to him.
Yeah.
Now he's
Yeah.
like super buff,
Oh
which
yeah.
good
No,
for him.
he's built now. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He still needs to get out of fucking Scientology, but
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise, yeah, he's making some good changes.
Um, Supreme Atheist Intellect wants to know thoughts on American airstrikes at Al Qaeda leader in Yemen. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Fuck 'em.
Chris Jones wants to know thoughts on Mitt being expelled from CPAC. Kind of deserves it.
I don't like the way that they did it. I don't like that they basically turn it into an advertisement. Because we're supposed to be better than that. Like you're not supposed to publicize the infighting and act all petty and shit. Leave that to the fucking Democrats as they try to figure out their fucking civil war. Like you can disinvite him, of course, but don't turn it into a fucking spectacle. And yeah, I think after how he voted on impeachment, probably earned it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't go all out and make it something to celebrate. It's not something to celebrate. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, you know. It's
That I
like
can
it's
agree
like
on.
when it's like when a family member fucks you over, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not something you fucking enjoy, and it's not something that you want to be happy about, even if it was that one fucking uncle that you never really liked that much.
Yeah.
You should never be happy to cut allies away.
Well, Mitt has kind of done it to himself, though. I think he has a personal vendetta against the president at this point.
I think, yeah, I think for sure he does. I think he's still kind of bitter about what happened in 2012. But honestly, he wasn't the strongest candidate that he could have been.
No. I mean, he won the first debate with Obama walking away
Mm-hmm.
because he put his foot down and he would not give any ground. And he
Mm-hmm.
took it to him and he treated it like a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how Obama debates.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the second and third debates, he basically handed him over.
Yeah, he got too soft.
Mm-hmm.
He got too soft as the campaign went on. It's like he easily could have doubled down on the 47% thing,
Mm-hmm.
but he wouldn't. And the fucking smears about tying his dog to the roof of his car, and oh, he bullied the gay kids in high school, like bullshit like that. Like he just got rolled over on all that shit. Like it's nonsensical. There's actually I think it's on Netflix, a good documentary that follows him at various points throughout the campaign, and then it ends on like election night. I think it's called like Mitt,
Yeah.
but it's really, really good if any of y'all care enough to watch it.
Yeah. I think that that's one thing that a lot of people have really liked about Donald Trump was that he fights. He understands
he takes some shit.
And he understands when he's in a fight.
Yeah.
Romney seemed to be of the school, the neocons, in this thought, and still is of this thought that where in politics you can just let stuff slide. Forgive and forget. Oh, that's CNN, but they lied about me, but I can forgive that. Well, yes, you can forgive that, but don't hesitate to call it out.
Yeah.
Like, don't just sit, turning the other cheek does not mean become a punching bag.
Exactly.
So, Kale Bach wants to know, how would a war between Palestine and Israel go? Not good for Palestine.
If we're talking, if we are talking like all out, this becomes like an international fucking conflict, because a full out war would become an international fucking conflict.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the War of Armageddon. That'd probably be it. But if we're talking like nobody else gets involved, it's just Israel and Palestine. Israel has nuclear weapons. Do the math.
I wouldn't even think they would need to go that far, because the thing about
they wouldn't have to.
The thing about Palestine in general, since the walls have been built, is that every single conflict starts with Palestine attacking Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Israel goes in and gives them a bloody nose. And then Palestine stops, and then Israel walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there would be no walking away here. The UN would probably threaten some sanctions or something. Then Trump would say, go fuck yourself. We're not putting sanctions on Israel at all. We'll just take all the business then. And then the UK would go, because Boris Johnson is a big ally of Israel, would say, no, we're going to help too. We're not going to put sanctions on them. And then, all of a sudden, all of the technology trade that Israel is one of the reasons they're one of our top 30 trading partners is going to get even bigger. So there's not really a way that Palestine comes out getting anything. If anything, it would mean their elimination. I think that at that point, if it was an actual war, Palestine, there's no way for Palestine to win. The problem that it creates is that the Iranians would get involved, as they have been in this from the start, by the way, because Palestine might as well be a proxy state for them. Especially since Hamas took over the unity government, for better or worse. So,
yeah, not to mention, you don't fuck with the IDF.
No,
And you certainly don't fuck with the IDF when they have the backing of fucking. That's not IMI anymore. I think it's IWI, who's manufacturing their fucking weapons.
Yes.
Like no, you no.
Let's put it this way: the best trained militaries on the earth, number one and number two. Number one is the United States. Number two is Russia. Number three is Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Their best soldiers take on training that's comparable to the Navy SEALs. They are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And
you don't want to cross them. You don't want to cross Mossad. No.
Their weapons design is probably third in the world as well. They have ridiculously good everything. Not to mention they gave us the Desert Eagle, which is, for those who have never fired one, that is one hell of a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, and the great thing about the Eagle is that you can have 3 different barrels with it. It fires 357. It can fire 357. It can fire 44, and it can fire 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a monster of a gun.
Desert Eagle, Uzi, Tavor. There's one other that was
the Galil.
There we go. Yep.
And I've fired a Galil before too. Hell of a rifle. Because it's built like an AK-47, but it's chambered in 5.56, so the recoil's a lot less. Longer barrel, if I recall correctly, too. So it's very accurate.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
I would say it's on par with the M4. I know a lot of people prefer the AK-47 because you can basically bury it for 40 years, pull it out of the dirt and fire it, which is true. But the fact that it's a 7.62 means that the recoil is going to be a lot more so than an M4 or anything that's chambered in 223.
Yeah.
So this has been Firearms 101 with Micah and Hatman. I wasn't an NRA member, oh no. Well, I still am. I just don't really take it. Well, we eliminated that shithead of a president, so we're doing all right, but we could be in better sorts these days. Yeah, I think that their inability to challenge Trump on some things that he's done has lessened my faith in the organization a little bit. All right, entertainment time.
Yay, good stuff.
Indeed. All right. John Whitesell wants to know, if the Doom Slayer was in Resident Evil, how fucked are the zombies? Very.
Yes. Very yes.
That wouldn't be much of a problem for him.
No.
Like, I wouldn't even think that Nemesis or Mr. X would be a problem for him either. He would probably fuck them up pretty badly. So
I mean, if he can fuck up the Cyber Demon, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the bosses that he fights in so, in my opinion, the intro for Doom Eternal, which I've seen, pretty much confirms it's Doom Guy. It's the same guy from the very first Doom game. And it's all in one continuous story from Doom 1 to Doom 2 to Doom 64, all the way to now. I think, basically, Doom 3 is just a retelling of 1.
Doom 64 is canon.
Yes.
That's great.
Well, that's when he goes to hell and stays there. So...
Oh, my fucking God.
Well, Doom 64 was good. And apparently it's going to get a PC
good,
release.
But that's the thing. People don't usually think of it when they think of Doom.
I know, that's what's so weird, is it was such a good game. Quake 64, not as much, but Doom 64 was good. But no, he would buzzsaw through all of it. Like, it wouldn't even be, like, a problem for him. It would be more of like an annoyance, really.
Yeah.
Hell, he could probably kill the giant alligator with his bare hands.
It would be an errand.
Yeah. Speaking of which, have you seen the footage for Eternal yet? The new
I've seen
stuff?
some of it.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. I I am just psyched that it is the Doom guy. It's the same dude. Like that to me is pretty cool. You know, it's because basically when you think about it, all of this that you see in Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal is over a rabbit. That's hilarious.
Yep.
But it has also
money,
made that character, or if anything, reestablished how iconic he is.
Mm-hmm.
And being somebody who played like the original Doom around the time it came out, that's pretty fucking cool.
I remember getting sick the first time I played Doom.
Me too. I had nightmares. I'll admit it.
Oh no! It never gave me nightmares. I mean, like just
motion sickness.
Moving around in that 3D space made me sick.
Yeah, it did for me too. Because I remember I first played it. My oldest cousin Josh was in college. I don't know if Josh watches this. Some of my relatives do watch this.
Hi, relatives.
Yeah, especially my nephew. So hey, buddy. But my oldest cousin Josh had a bunch of games on his Mac of all things. I don't know what it is with him and his family. Like they love Macs, and I'm a Windows guy. So but what he did was he put, because Doom was on everything at that point when he was in college. So he introduced me to that. He introduced me to Marathon and a couple other games, and I played Doom, and I just remember my cousin Dougie sitting next to me, and I had headphones on while I was playing it, and it just felt so claustrophobic, and man, it was an experience, and I was scared out of my mind. I had nightmares on the way home because my dad had this station wagon, and the back of it he would put like a bunch of blankets and stuff if any of us kids wanted to just sleep on the way home. So that's what I did, and like while I was sleeping, I was like having nightmares and ended up getting sick when I woke up and just barfed out the window. So, but ever since then, I've been a fan of Doom. You know, it's pretty crazy. Like I love the series, and yeah, just for me, it's so cool that a character like that is so immortalized within video games. I worried that he wouldn't be after Doom 3. You know, so. Which I like Doom 3, but it's not. It's almost Doom in name only sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Doom Eternal, though, Autist Whisper wants to know Dean Takahashi's Doom Eternal video. How does that guy keep getting work? I don't know. I don't know how he recovered from Cuphead, because I remember Doom 2016 pretty much ended the video game career of Arthur Geese. Some of you might not even remember that name. I do. He was one of the big anti-Gamergate voices from Polygon. And
he wasn't the one that wrote it wasn't even an article. It was more like a fucking blog post, like ripping on Rock Band 4 while he was at the preview event.
No, that was Colin Campbell.
There we go. Yeah. That was
Colin Campbell. The asshole trio of Polygon was at the time Colin Campbell, Ben Kuchera, and Arthur Geese.
Arthur Geese was the SimCity guy.
Yes,
he was the one that said you can't possibly knock us for giving SimCity a good score over the fucking what was the always online thing, because you're not in game development. You don't know about the always online thing. It's not like you could just patch it out, and then somebody patched it out the next fucking day.
Yeah, he had a tendency to step in it. Like when he tried to say that his playing of Doom was good. And I'm like, no, you had it on the easiest difficulty, and you looked like you didn't know how to strafe.
He was holding the controller upside down, probably.
I don't know what he was doing. Like, I remember I did a video on it for TechRaptor at the time, and I asked him, like, were you playing with your face? Like, there's no way that you can be this abysmally bad at video games and then make a living off of reporting on them. This is ridiculous. But yeah, he ended up walking away after that because of how embarrassing it was, you know? So I don't know how Takahashi has managed to recover from that. I think it's maybe because Cuphead wasn't as big of a game, so there wasn't as much of a backlash. But I am of the opinion that if you're gonna write about video games, you should at least be halfway decent at them, because if you suck at them and you review them, that's gonna taint every review you do, every single one. Because anytime you comment on the gameplay and you're not accounting for possible user error, that makes your review null and void in the eyes of your readers. Every fucking time. So.
Yep.
Alright. Next question. Swordsman100 asks, if I remember right, you have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. If so, what do you think of the new Anti-Venom skin and voice for Venom in the new free update? I haven't tried it. I can't answer. Hey, man, tell me you have it.
Nope, I don't have it.
Shit. Okay, so, can't answer that yet. Kale Bach wants to know, if we were to throw Guts into 40K, what do you think he'd do? So that whole warp thing wouldn't be much of a problem. Man too angry to die.
He would purge some goddamn heretics.
Well, he'd purge anything that just looks at him funny.
Because they're heretics.
Yeah. So, that's what I think. Like, yeah, that whole warp thing wouldn't be much of a problem in the future. Alpha Incel wants to know, Netflix is making a Resident Evil series that follows Wesker's daughters. Thoughts? What?
Why?
This.
Why?
Let's look into this. What is this?
Wesker's
Okay.
daughters.
From Bloody Disgusting. Netflix's Resident Evil series enters production this June, according to leak. Constantine Film is developing it. Just says they're entering pre-production. They're filming in South Africa. See if I can find anything else on there. Here's one from 12 hours ago. There's no official announcement. Paul Anderson probably not involved, but... And the only thing that they have here... I don't know where he's getting the Wesker's daughters thing, because, yeah, it's... There's nothing official. There's nothing official about the series at all. So I don't know where that's coming from. But, it just says... It will explore the dark inner workings of the Umbrella Corporation and the New World Order caused by the outbreak of the T-Virus, which basically says nothing. So, yeah. I wouldn't expect a trailer for it probably till October if they're shooting in the spring and summer. But, yeah, so if it is based on Wesker's daughters, that's kind of a silly idea, because they're going to have to come up with an explanation how he fathered multiple children. Aside from, like, there's a bunch of thoughts that just love Albert Wesker. I don't know. But I have a feeling that they're probably going to adapt the games. You know? Or maybe tell Wesker's story, which would be pretty awesome. Especially if you did, like, well, no, it's filming, so they're going to cast somebody in the role. But I was going to say, try to do an animated feature and then have DC Douglas reprise the role. So, that's my thoughts. I would hope it's good.
Yeah.
Angry Boss wants to know, what is the difference between an anti-hero and an anti-villain? Anti-hero is primarily somebody who would still do good traits but would end up killing people. An anti-villain is somebody who would mostly do villainous traits but is also somebody who tries to preserve human life.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Supreme Atheist Intellect wants to know, thoughts on Funimation promising they would release an uncut version of Sugamomo, but lied and released the cut version instead. This is a year old, but people are just now noticing it.
I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, what's a Sugamomo? Is it waifu bait? What does Google say?
Romantic comedy, supernatural harem, waifu bait.
Yeah. So, Funimation sucks.
Funimation just keeps fucking it up.
Yeah. Like, don't give them your money. That's basically it at this point. Don't give them your money.
Stop it.
They are really screwing themselves over royally month to month to month. It seems. It seems like every month there's a new story about how Funimation screwed something up.
Yeah. Don't pay them. Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. Tyler Jorgensen says, "How would you write your own horror film? What kind of horror? Is it psychological horror? Is it cosmic horror? Is it body horror? Is it slasher
I guess
film?
you would get to choose. If this is your ideal horror movie, I guess you would get to choose.
All I'm gonna say is, check out my next Indiegogo of 3 nights, 4 days, and you'll get your answer. I would just make that into a movie.
There you
go. Now, there's other concepts that I have for the future. One of them's a vampire horror. And what I'm doing with that is it's a horror story that has elements of a character study in it. That one will be pretty intense. And I have possibly an artist for it already. So, and he has very painted, euphoric style that he uses, and I'm really looking forward to see what he puts together for this. But one thing that I like to do is small casts and scary monsters. That's basically my MO. Don't make the cast too big. You know.
No.
Oh, and the other philosophy that I have is keep the protagonist helpless. Because the instant that they start whooping ass, it's a lot less scary. So.
I would probably go with a body horror, honestly. Almost in the vein of The Fly, because I think doing a smaller cast, like character study film with those sort of body horror elements would be ideal. Because it's not your typical slasher fare. It's not, your torture porn or anything. It's getting back to something that, makes you fucking shiver, like gives you the jitters because you're like, I don't want that shit happening to me.
So it's sort of like a Cronenberg inspired thing.
Almost, yeah.
And for those who don't know, Cronenberg films are fucking awesome.
That they are. Again, the Fly. Let me reiterate. That is not just one of the greatest horror movies ever. That's one of the best movies ever. The Jeff Goldblum version.
Oh yeah.
And it's a remake. That's how you do a good fucking remake too.
That and The Thing, I think, are really good examples of that.
Oh, good God.
So
yes,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
like the Cronenberg or John Carpenter sort of feel.
Yes.
Definitely something Hatman and I love. I would say if you want body horror recommendations for those of you in the audience, or even just like that style of horror that he and I enjoy. From Cronenberg, I would say my favorite films are The Fly, Videodrome, and Scanners.
Scanners. I have not heard that name in a long time.
Dude, I love Scanners. The first Scanners movie is pretty cool. Especially the ending. I really like the ending to that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Carpenter, there's a lot of really good John Carpenter movies, but my favorite is I've seen 2 of the 3 Apocalypse trilogy films. I'm probably gonna watch At the Mouth of Madness tonight. But so I would have to say The Thing and Prince of Darkness. And then, what's another really good John Carpenter movie that's kind of fucked up? I would have to say They Live. It's not really a horror movie, it's more sci-fi, but it has elements of horror. Not to mention you have Rowdy Roddy fucking Piper. Come on now.
And Keith David.
And Keith David. Keith David is fucking awesome.
Oh, fucking Christine.
Oh, that's right. Carpenter did direct Christine. Oh, and he did Halloween.
Of course,
that's not my favorite Carpenter movie, but it's a lot of people consider it his best. Mine will always be The Thing. I think The Thing is his best.
It's hard. It's hard for me because The Thing and Escape from New York. No, it's The Thing or Escape from New York for me. Although They Live, I would put higher up there, but it's just so slow in some parts.
Yeah, that is its biggest weakness. It's a crescendo, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, it would either be The Thing or Escape from New York for me. I can't decide. I honestly cannot decide.
Yep. Let's see here. Bob Fetto wants to know, how would you write a slice of life anime starring Thanos? No. No.
How can you even ask such a thing? Like, that's...
Here's how I would write it. It would be 22 pages of Thanos killing Japan.
And then going out for tea afterwards.
No. He just kills all of Japan. He starts with the Dragon Maid cosplayers. Then he moves on to the otakus, who are the main reason as to why we get bullshit Dragon Maid anime and other harem crap before we get a fucking anime of Uzumaki!
Oh my fucking...
That is one of the biggest injustices when it comes to anime in general. The fucking incels who buy up all this waifu bait bullshit instead of good stuff. Uzumaki just now getting an anime is criminal. I understand there's a live action film of it that is apparently really good, but the fact that it wasn't animated first in Japan and it's considered possibly the greatest horror manga of all time, what the fuck? I haven't even read it all the way yet. I still need to finish it. But I read God, what's the one where there's a tremor or something like that unveils like half a mountain. There's all these holes in it that are people shaped.
Oh, that's God, that's Junji Ito.
Yeah, well, Ito's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Uzumaki is considered his best work. Because I've read that one, and I read there were a couple other short ones of his that I've read too.
Amigara Fault.
Yeah, Amigara Fault.
The Enigma of Amigara Fault.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. It frustrates me. I find it very frustrating. Crystal Hydra says, I'm back to making my mutant comic, but I'm having trouble with one of my two main villains. I don't know what powers to give the main mutant villain without turning them into a god. So turn them into a god. Why limit yourself?
There you go.
I mean, your boy did that with God King. You know, just said, fuck it. This villain that I'm creating, he's kind of godlike. So let him be godlike. That gives you heroes something to overcome. You know? If you're writing a superhero story, there's no reason to put limitations on yourself like that. That's a lesson I learned with Englewood. Like, again, like I've said before, Englewood started off as basically The Wire with a superhero. Now there's fucking ninjas. And there's going to be a voodoo priest in it. And a bunch of other crazy shit. Why the fuck not? Have fun with it. It doesn't mean you can't tell a good, serious story. I said this on Ethan's stream, and I'm going to say it again. Never fear high concept. Ever. Never fear it. You make everything this, like, mid-budget slice-of-life bullshit, and you make the most boring stories out there. That's part of what's killing the comic book industry. Don't limit yourself. Have fun with it. Go nuts. As long as the characters are compelling, people will get it. Wolverine's abilities are bullshit. When you think about everything he's done and all the crazy shit. But in the moment, when you're watching it, you're not going to argue because it's fucking cool. I mean, think of the shit that Wolverine survived with, like, barely any healing factor in the movie Logan. Did people complain? No. It was fucking cool. And it was a great film. Why? Because the characters were so memorable and did awesome stuff. You know? Not to mention it was incredibly well directed. Like, don't fear it, because you can take high concept and make something really interesting out of it. And still make it compelling and still make it something that people are going to want to watch. You know, you think that as serious as the Dark Knight trilogy has taken, the Nolan films, they're high concept. They're goofy in some areas, but it takes itself seriously. You know, if you don't take yourself seriously, you get Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. Because the sad thing about, like, and here's the sad thing about Batman Forever, is that the basic plot line of that movie, like, in the broadest sense, they could have made something good with it. But instead they wanted to go for that campy sort of old school feeling. And then you have fucking Batman give this speech to Victor Fries about saving life that's dead fucking serious, and it feels out of place. You know, don't have fun with it and take it seriously at the same time. Trust me, it's possible. The two things are not mutually exclusive at all. They never are. You think he's becoming godlike? Go for it! Fuck it! That never stopped Galactus from ever being stopped. Never stopped anybody from stopping Thanos. You know? As you create the character, you will find a flaw yourself. Use it. Be smart with it. Alright, Torin wants to know, have you, Hatman, seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Parodies of text-to-speech?
No. The only sort of stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! Parody I've seen is the abridged series. That's it.
Let's see here. Opinion on One Piece being dethroned by Demon Slayer. I don't read either of them, so I have no opinion. And also, why don't we pay to give Englewood an ISBN? Why don't we do that?
I don't know. Something to look into, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we could always do it if we wanted to sell it outside of direct market, but there's not really a reason for us to do that right now.
You'd have to file copyrights and stuff too, wouldn't you?
Well, we're inevitably going to file them anyway, like actual.
Well,
like,
yeah, but as far as like right now, I don't know that we could.
I mean, the fact that we are using it is we have a common law copyright on it, and that's enough to start. But we will inevitably file an official one, just to make sure that there's no confusion and that that copyright doesn't get infringed upon. It gives us a stronger case if we ever had to go to court.
Right.
But as for the ISBN number, I mean. Yeah, we will probably do it for books if we start putting them on the direct market, but we haven't decided what we're going to do with that yet. Yeah. We're taking it one step at a time when it comes to this business, because there's no need to rush it,
Mm-hmm. I mean, my girlfriend's a librarian, so if there's anyone who could help us with that sort of stuff, it'd be her. She'd have the knowledge. So
yeah. I hear it's relatively cheap. So, same with copyright. So, it's not something that's out of our purview. But,
Copyright just takes forever for them to get back to you to say whether or not you got approved for it.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that'll be something we look into. It's not something we want to do immediately. We got to finish the book first. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's coming along. Sadly, our colorist got sick, so the colors got delayed a little bit again, which is a bummer.
You gotta slap that blonde bitch around again, don't you?
Fucking Leon, man.
Fuck him.
Yeah, Leon gets a fuck him.
Fuck him.
Not the last one says, what are the odds that Netflix is going to deny a theatrical run for Eva 4.0 and stick it on their service, complete with the redubbed cast?
Nah.
I don't know.
No, I think they just have the distribution rights for the original Eva series. I don't. If they had the rights to rebuild would be on Netflix. But I don't think they have that.
They only have the normal series, and I think they have End on there as well.
Yeah. Well, they got the series. They've got Death and Rebirth, and they've got End of Evangelion. But no, they. I don't think they would do that. Even if that would just be incredibly jarring for everybody because they kept the original voice cast for the other rebuild movies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find. There's a lot of people trying to say that the new dub was far superior, and of course it's all the SJW sites.
Fuck them.
Yeah, you guys are fucking crazy.
Seriously, fuck them. Shinji sounded like a goddamn girl.
One of the articles that I looked here is like trying to say it's more faithful to the Japanese, which I don't care. And then it says if it was any other series, it would be considered a good dub. Well, that's the thing, is that you like why it's completely pointless, which was the big argument that I saw, is that there's no reason to redub that series at all. Why redub it?
I mean, it's like when they redubbed DBZ Kai. There wasn't no fucking reason for that.
Yeah.
There was Dragon Ball Z had a fine fucking dub. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. A lot of the original cast were pissed about it, and for good reason, because they basically took all of their work, which apparently they worked very hard on it, and just threw it in the trash. That's unfortunate. I'm trying to find
that, and we didn't get Shinji's fucking rant either.
No, you don't. What is this? I'm looking around.
I'm just
real
saying.
Quick.
Even if I were to run away, where the fuck would I go?
Yes. I'm trying to find the DVDs online real quick.
They're super fucking expensive.
Yeah, I'm finding one here. It says the Platinum Edition. It says here it's Neon Genesis Evangelion TV and movies, 4 discs, episodes 1 through 26. Really? This is only $32.
No
is this real?
Fucking way. That can't be.
It says here it's the Platinum version from '95. Let me send you the link. I'll let you be the judge. I don't know if this is real.
I'm looking at the fucking Platinum collection and it's giving me $200.
I'm honestly thinking that this might be just an edition that has gone unnoticed on eBay.
Maybe
that
or
happens.
It could be some bootleg shit. Never know.
There's brand identifiers here.
I will still kick myself for missing out on the goddamn Nerve box set for $50.
So yeah, read that real quick. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's legit?
Give me a sec to open the fucking link. Hold on. I don't think that's a region 1. I don't think that's region 1. Let me see the details. It says region free.
Only one product rating.
All DVDs I'm selling are from licensed publisher in Malaysia. I'm saying that this is a bootleg just based on the grammar in the description.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Yeah.
And there's only one rating. So either way, folks, we are definitely going to be looking out for this because, like, Hatman and I are huge Evangelion fans.
Oh, yeah.
So, it says here it's on Amazon. Yeah, $240.
Yep.
If somebody ever wants to gift me something, there you go. That's probably the one DVD set above all else in the world that I want. Is that, well, that and the Berserk Box of War. Those would be the only two that, like, I really want more than any others. Because, well, actually, no, the Perfect Collection is $140, but it doesn't include the movies. And by movie, I mean movie, which is End of Evangelion, which with the original series is kind of necessary because the last 2 episodes of Evangelion kind of suck. So
kind of.
Okay, they very much suck, but
yeah.
Congratulations. By the way, one thing I found funny is the only streamer I watch regularly, Maximilian, he's never seen Evangelion. So there was a point where he stepped away in Monster Hunter from the lobby, and while he was there, like all the people in the lobby gathered around his player avatar, right? And they all started doing the Evangelion clap, which is one of the emotes in Monster Hunter. So when he comes back, he's like, "Oh, thank you." Then somebody sends a donation that just says "congratulations" on it, and the whole joke goes right over his head. I was laughing my ass off. Like, how do you not know what this is from?
Oh my god.
See, if that happened to me, I'd be freaking. I'd be like, I love all of you! So, yeah. Evangelion is amazing. It really is. The initial series really is. That's what I wish I was watching. But the only way to get it without owning the DVD, well, do what you want, because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, Hatman and I are going to take off. That's all of the questions that we had. We will be returning this Saturday for the podcast for lots of fun. And probably more anime cringe because, yeah.
And probably hentai hot sauce.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's the thing.
I got the shipping notification a couple days ago, so
Oh, man.
it's on its way.
What is in that?
Hentai hot sauce. Hell.
Well, yes,
Probably
it's hentai
hell.
hot sauce. What else would I expect? But
Allegedly it has aphrodisiacs in it. Because of course it does.
Hatman's girlfriend, if you're watching this, I'm sorry in advance.
Oh my fucking... Oh shit. If I want more, you can save 60% off your second bottle for Valentine's Day.
Oh my god.
So, alright, so here's the ingredients. Habanero, chipotle, ghost pepper, scorpion, and Carolina Reaper peppers.
Oh god. That's
Apple
gonna
juice,
hurt.
applesauce, cider vinegar, carrots, onions, maple syrup, tomato paste, garlic, salt, spices, xanthan gum, which is of course a Star Wars character, and that's about it.
That's gonna kick like a fucking mule.
That is going to maybe kill me.
I was about to say, it's got Reaper in it.
Oh no, I've eaten Reaper. I've eaten straight Reaper.
Really?
Yeah.
I never have.
It tastes just like a fucking red bell pepper, except then all of a sudden your mouth is on fire for like an hour.
Jesus.
I ate it when I was in the middle of a shift, when I still worked at the grocery store. And that was a mistake.
Yeah.
But I have had worse things.
See, I've never had Reaper. I've had ghost peppers. And I actually like them. Especially in chili. They are a great addition to chili. Because though they are hot, they're very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a hot where you regret it. It's not like fucking sriracha. I hate sriracha. The flavor of sriracha is just, it's hipster Tabasco. You know? It's just, it doesn't really have that good of flavor. Tabasco's only useful if you're using it to make buffalo sauce. You know? So, yeah, I never saw the appeal. Alright, folks, we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close like we said we were going to 7 minutes ago. Hatman, any final words before we take off, partner?
Pray for me. Pray for me on Saturday. Pray that I can get through this.
Yes. Pray today, but prepare to laugh on Saturday. On that note, we're going to go ahead and take off. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and I might just be a little terrified.
Just a touch. We'll see you guys this Saturday. Dave's Vault.
Dave's Vault.